What is up, guys? Rick Kakis here, and today we are going to be showcasing the new weapons coming in Destiny 2, analyzing all of the different trailers, the concept art, the cover art, everything, and not only that, but expanding the conversation, not just looking at what we've seen, but also what these things actually mean, and expanding on the Foundries and the gun types that could indeed be coming in Destiny 2. Very exciting video. I'm so happy to make this because I absolutely love loot. So, let's get started. Now, of course, we need to start at the beginning with the Destiny 2 concept art that we've all seen. Interestingly enough, all three of the Guardians in this concept art are using weapons you cannot get in Destiny. And I think that is a huge hint from Bungie to us for what to expect in terms of new weaponry coming in Destiny 2. So let's start off on the right side with the Warlock, who is very clearly using a Suros shotgun. This already is quite interesting because, again, in Destiny right now, you cannot get a Suros shotgun. Suros was one of the Foundries that was really amped up with the Taken King expansion. During this expansion, Bungie decided to rework the gun system and really introduce the whole idea of Foundries, and Foundries that were actually different in appearance and in function from one another. And there was three big ones added: Suros, Omolon, and Haka. All three of these Foundries, again, look quite different from one another, however have that unique style that makes the guns within them look somewhat similar. However, very importantly, there is gaps in each one of these Foundries, gaps between what gun types they actually manufacture. Haka is actually the only Foundry properly represented within the shotgun category. There is no Omolon shotguns as well. So, pretty cool. Bungie is showing us that, hey, we're filling in this gap. Now, that may be just a one-off example until we move to the left and see what the Titan is using. Well, it's very clearly an Omolon weapon, and yet it doesn't match any of the traditional Omolon primaries, which is almost certainly what this is. It doesn't match a scout rifle. It really doesn't match... oh wait, that's pretty much it. Omolon is only represented in the primary weapons with scout rifles and hand cannons. So what this looks like to me is an Omolon auto rifle, and it really does have that appearance. Now, there is only one Omolon auto rifle in Destiny, and it's the weapon that all Omolon weapons owe their design to, the Hard Light exotic auto rifle. So it does again make sense that Bungie is plugging in these gaps in the missing gun types for the Foundries. But these weapons aren't just within the cover art. In fact, you see these two weapons again and again within the trailer. You see the Omolon auto rifle here and here, and you also see the Suros shotgun present as well. Bungie is making it abundantly clear that these weapons are being added into Destiny 2. Now, moving on to the last weapon represented in the Destiny 2 cover art. And this one is a little bit more tricky. It's not as obvious what this weapon is. It sort of has a Suros-like feel. You have those smooth edges, and you have white being the predominant color. However, there is blue, and that's not traditionally in Suros weapons. And yet, if we zoom in quite a bit here, we can see some kind of symbol. Now, it's too blurry to tell exactly what this symbol is. However, to me, this bears a striking resemblance to the Suros double dragon symbol. This is a symbol that is in Destiny, and it very much does match the symbol on this gun. Now again, it is blurry, and this could absolutely not be a Suros weapon. However, it should definitely be noted that not all Suros weapons have to be red. Look at the Hawksaw. That is a crucible weapon, and because of that, it has a very different color scheme, and yet it is undoubtedly a Suros weapon. So if this hand cannon is Suros, that is a third missing gun type represented, because there is no Suros hand cannons in the game. There's Haka hand cannons and there's Omolon hand cannons, but Suros is notably missing. So, in the cover art, 3 Guardians, all potentially using these missing gun combinations. At least 2 out of 3 confirmed to be using these missing gun combinations. Bungie is stressing the point that they are filling in these gaps within their design. So now let's actually go over all of the current missing gun combinations in Destiny, because Bungie seems to be screaming that these are going to be added in Destiny 2. Firstly, with scout rifles, we are missing Haka scout rifles, so definitely expect those in Destiny 2. Moving on to pulse rifles, there are no Omolon pulse rifles. After that, moving on to the secondary gun categories, we have fusion rifles. Haka and Suros are not represented within the fusion rifle categories. With sidearms, it's kind of the same thing, only Haka is properly represented. You don't really have Suros or Omolon sidearms. And with sniper rifles, you are notably missing Suros. And heavy weapons are criminally unrepresented. With machine guns, you don't really have representation from any of the Foundries properly. There really isn't a proper Omolon, Suros, or Haka machine gun in the game. And for rocket launchers, you have Suros rocket launchers, but that's pretty much it. So these missing combinations are again super likely to be coming in Destiny 2. However, there's more we have to go over in this video. Firstly, when talking about all of those missing gun types, I'm sure some of you are wondering, well, what's the point? What's the point of having a Suros sniper rifle? How much is that going to add? Well, realistically, if Bungie keeps with the same principles in the original Destiny, these new weapons will have differentiated perk loadouts. The current Foundries are most substantially differentiated by their perk layouts. Haka weapons have a totally different perk layout and can spawn with slightly different perks than Suros weapons, than Omolon weapons. And so having a Suros shotgun will be meaning having a shotgun with a Suros perk layout, which could be very interesting. Aside from that, there may be even more differentiation between the different Foundries. Look at Haka pulse rifles. They are different from any other pulse rifles in the game because they fire in bursts of 4. Bungie may be doing something similar to this with these missing gun combinations. With the Omolon auto rifles, perhaps they will take inspiration from the current hard light, and their bullets will be able to ricochet. Maybe not to the same degree as the hard light, but that would still be quite interesting. Perhaps the Suros shotgun would gain bonus accuracy when aiming down sights, but it would take longer to aim down sights than normal, rewarding precision and actually predicting your engagements rather than pure aggression. Perhaps some of these missing gun combinations will be in different archetypes. The Suros hand cannons may kill in 4 headshots but shoot a little bit faster. The Haka scout rifles may kill in 2 shots but shoot incredibly slowly. We could have some of the gun archetypes filled in by these different missing combinations. So there's actually a lot of design space that exists for those guns, and I'm very excited to see them coming into Destiny 2. But again, we've got a little bit more for you guys, because there aren't just 3 Foundries. There isn't just Omolon, Suros, Haka, and that's it. In fact, we have several different Foundries existing right now in Destiny, just none of them have been properly expanded on. And we actually have confirmation of a 4th Foundry coming in Destiny 2, potentially. Now let's begin by taking a look at this cover art. This is the limited edition cover art, and it features a Guardian using a pretty cool looking hand cannon. And I think a lot of people saw this and went, oh, that's the last word. I mean, it does look very last word-esque, but is it? Well, when we take a look at the last word, you can pretty clearly see that this is a totally different gun. In fact, when we look at a more expanded version of this art, you can totally see that this is not the last word. Neither is it the actual twin of the last word, the first curse. It is a totally different last word looking hand cannon. And you know what that says to me? Tex Mechanica, the foundry that makes the last word, the first curse, and the chaperone, is getting properly expanded in Destiny 2. This Guardian is clearly using a weapon that looks like it belongs in Tex Mechanica, and it's, I think, more unlikely that this is some sort of exotic or one-off weapon, and more likely that Bungie is showing us that Tex Mechanica is getting expanded upon, that it may be the 4th or even the 5th foundry properly added in Destiny 2. That is really exciting. Can you imagine how awesome lever action scout rifles would be in Destiny 2? That would be so cool. So if one new foundry already looks like it's being added in Destiny 2, what are the other foundries that could get added? Well, let's start out here with Cassoid. Cassoid manufactures the Invective shotgun and the Telesto fusion rifle. There isn't a lot known about this foundry, but I think it would be really cool to have Cassoid weapons in Destiny 2 that regenerate ammo but don't let you pick up ammo. That is actually quite the trade-off. Well, as long as I have a different special ammo economy in Destiny 2, that is. Another very interesting foundry is Daito. They manufactured the Jade Rabbit exotic scout rifle. And this foundry seems to have been very popular during the Golden Age. You can see its symbol on several different billboards in the Buried City on Mars and in the Shadowed Coast on Venus. And actually, it's important to say that if that hand cannon that we saw the Hunter using on the original Destiny 2 concept art isn't actually Suros, it most actually resembles the Jade Rabbit, which means it would be Daito, which again is potentially showing another foundry being expanded upon in Destiny 2. Very exciting stuff. Another potential foundry is Nadir. We knew almost nothing about this foundry until the Nemesis Star exotic machine gun was added in the Rise of Iron. This is the only fully expanded upon Nadir weapon we know about. And its exotic perk, the fact that you slow your rate of fire down as you continue to shoot it, could be applied to actual legendary weapons. Auto rifles could have that feature, so could more machine guns, just as different damage archetypes. That would be a very cool idea for how to introduce Nadir into the game. And lastly, we have Crux Lomar. This is a very unique weapon foundry because they're actually pretty represented in Destiny. They made the Dragon's Breath, and the Truth, and the most famous Galahorn. But I don't necessarily think that this is going to be a foundry expanded upon in Destiny 2. And the reason being is because the story of this foundry is that two weaponsmiths, Faisal Crux and Victor Lomar, came together and made these amazing weapons. They didn't produce these on a massive scale like Suros. They really just made a few special weapons. But I would expect to see some more exotic Crux Lomar rocket launchers in Destiny 2. And guys, although we've already covered so many interesting things, we have one more huge thing to go over. Now, we've been talking about the traditional guns already existing in the game and just kind of expanding on them, expanding on foundries, but what about entirely new gun types? Well, two have potentially already been revealed. This screenshot from the trailer here, showing the armory in the tower just before the Cabal came in and destroyed it, shows off again two potential new gun types. Up in the left-hand corner, we have a very compact looking gun. This, to a lot of people and to myself, looks like an SMG. Destiny does not, for whatever reason, have SMGs in the game, and it seems like such a no-brainer of a new primary gun type to add. There is a ton of design space in the game right now for a close-range primary weapon. The only gun so far that's filling that role is the fast-firing auto rifles. Now, some people do say, well, if we already have fast-firing auto rifles, why do we need SMGs? But that's like saying, why do we need hand cannons? We already have slow-shooting auto rifles. Seriously, the slower shooting auto rifles and hand cannons have pretty much identical ranges. So that shouldn't be an argument. And also, we don't know what gun types are being potentially redesigned or remade in Destiny 2. Auto rifles could be very different from what they are in the game right now. But again, this really does look like an SMG, especially when you compare it to the guns to its left, which are the traditional auto rifles. They look a lot different, a lot bigger, a lot less compact. Now, the other new gun type potentially represented in this screenshot is right in the very center. We have what look like grenade launchers. Grenade launchers are another no-brainer for an easy new gun type for Bungie to add in Destiny 2. They would very easily have the design space to be a heavy weapon. And they're very different from rocket launchers in the sense that they would have usually more ammunition, do a little bit less damage, and most importantly, have arcing projectiles. You have to shoot potentially above people and have the projectile arc downwards to actually hit them. You could have an archetype that does a lot of damage but only has a single shot before needing to reload, all the way up to an archetype that does a lot less damage but has up to 6, even 8 rounds in a magazine or tube like you find in the Battlefield games. And this is only the stuff we've seen. There are so many potential new gun types. Heavy sniper rifles or rail guns, plasma cannons, laser rifles, even the expansion of melee weapons. It would be very easy to add battle axes and spears and daggers and all of that stuff by simply making them different by having different attack speeds and different lunge distances. For example, a battle hammer would swing very slowly but do a lot more damage when it connects, perfect for PvE. And potentially you could have battle axes that again swing slower than swords but swing outwards a little bit more so you can catch an enemy with that melee at further ranges. And so guys, it's time to start wrapping up the video. Today we looked at all of the different missing gun combinations that seem to be coming in Destiny 2. We also looked at new Foundries coming as well. And lastly, we took a look at some of the entirely new gun types that might be coming. And all of those things make me so excited for Destiny 2. If they do even a fraction of what we talked about, Destiny 2 is going to be fantastic. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, enjoyed a look at so much content. Honestly, there's like 3 videos worth of information in this one video. I know it is probably going to be longer because of that, but if you enjoyed getting all this information, please remember to support the video by liking, commenting, and especially sharing. It really does help me out. And guys, if you want to see more Destiny and Destiny 2 content, be sure to slap that subscribe button. If you guys want to support the channel, check out the official merch linked in the description down below. If you guys want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That's linked in the description down below, as is my Twitch channel, which you can also follow. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.